What's up, beautiful souls? Welcome to Winning Wednesday Live with me, LC, here on the Recovery Soul Food Podcast and Morning Motivation. Man, I'm grateful as always to be here. I'm a little pumped this morning simply because I pumped myself up, right? Like I made a choice to get happy for this day. I made a choice to get into this day. I made a choice and an intention that this is going to be a great day. You know, my body's tired. My mind's a little bit overwhelmed. We're right now in this whole cycle. If you don't realize that your moods and emotions and all that change with, the moon and its phases, I'm telling you, come to understand because you start seeing these things every month. And right now we're in the midst of a huge transformation phase. And what that's going to do is it's going to bring up a lot of stuff from your past. You're going to be feeling things that you're probably thinking, why am I thinking about that? Like, why am I feeling this? Why is this person coming at me like this? All these little things right now. And as everything here, we're always alchemizing our lives, our recovery. That's the beauty of what we get to do in this space of recovery, is make it and come to understand that it's our soul trying to emerge our best selves, our greatness. And so many times there's so much purpose in the pain that we think is just nagging thoughts, is just trying to bring me down, is just, trying to ruin my life. And or we look at as triggers and we try to use them away. So what if I told you that those things that are emerging is your soul bubbling up things within you that aren't healed yet? Places where it needs you to start to look and work through. And working through could be just like that. Working through could be the acknowledgement of, oh, that's what that means. And oh, this is what all of that was working towards. I used to get mad in my life when I was young and people would say, man, Lona, you're a survivor. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to be, man. Like, I'm tired of surviving. Like, I don't want to go through this stuff. Can I choose to be a non-survivor? But today, man, I was just thinking this morning, there ain't shit that can knock me down. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a powerful feeling when you really come to understand who you are and where you've been. And when you look at what success you want for your life, or you look at where you want your life to be, you got to come to understand that though you might not have enjoyed being knocked down, and though you did not enjoy the things that you've gone through, there's a mighty purpose in that, because you're strong enough to alchemize that, to change that pain to purpose. So that's what we're going to talk about today on this Winning Wednesday. I am always grateful to be here with all of you. If you feel led and you get stuff out of this type of content, then go ahead and share it out. If you watch this on the replay, welcome to Recovery Soul Food. If you're new here, welcome to this Recovery Soul Food family. It's some of the most amazing human beings on earth in this audience. I love every single solitary one of you, and that's the truth. So if y'all are ready to get into it, let's go deeper. Let's go now. Yeah, we got some legends in the house. Look at JD Jericho here this morning. Good morning, brother. Good morning, Noah, Alicia Lee, Janet, Stephanie Wagner, Livy. That's all I can see. So, you know what? If you're here and I didn't call you out, just know that StreamYard only shows me so many. And I told you, these are loyal human beings in these broadcasts, because these are folks that are wanting more. that are understanding that they're here for more. I mean, what is the purpose of it all? You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to think that that I was just suffering to be suffering. And when you're in that place where you're just like, I mean, what is it all for? Or why do this? Or why keep doing this? I mean, that's really what led me to recovery, was that whole purpose of, why should I keep fighting this, this battle and yet not change who I am? See, we don't attract what we want, we attract who we are. And when we're in that place of active addiction, we believe that that's who we are. And that's why we just keep seeing this stuff come in and out and in and out and in and out. Same with relationships, same with jobs, same with money. We will go and take a job because, how can I put this? Because we get in a place where we come from that place of active addiction, those deep belief systems of who we are, and we'll take a job that's way under our qualifications, but we'll just be grateful for the scraps. So here at Recovery Soul Food, I'm trying to get you to realize that you are more than the scraps of life. Like, you have been through some stuff. And what's inside of you right now is that purpose just emerging out of you. And when you have that purpose emerge out of you, you may be in a position that you don't recognize out in the world, and you may think you're failing. But the fact is, you're not falling behind. You might be too far ahead of what the general collective people understand, because people aren't going through what you're going through. They may not necessarily be fighting a battle that you're fighting, so they don't know they have the potential to go deeper within themselves. They don't know that they can look at that pain and look it square in the face and say, I'm listening. Tell me what you want me to hear. Because you keep fighting it, right? You keep fighting it. It comes up and you either use it away, or you just stare at the problem, or you just stare at that terrible feeling, or you just stare at it and you go, why me? But it doesn't go anywhere, right? It keeps coming back. We often wonder how our creator, our higher power, talks to us. And because we have this human definition, this 3D definition of conversation and talking, we often go through things and experience things in our lives, and we think our creator is not here with us, when in fact, that's the language of the soul. We don't learn through knowledge. We can gather all the knowledge we want, but we actually create wisdom through experience. So you got to learn to look at the experience and the wisdom that you possess in your life is far greater than what you might be able to put down on a paper. Surviving severe child abuse, that's a gift and a talent, and it comes from true tenacity and perseverance. And no, there's not a place for that on a job application. There's not a place for that on a resume. But you've got to know that inside of you, that I transmuted, that I came through that, and I'm transcending that in this recovery process. Because if we keep using all that stuff, all those thoughts, all that stuff that comes up, if we keep using them away, by show of hands in your living room or wherever you are, how much of it was still there when you got sober? How much of it was still there when your drug of choice wore off? And did it not bring reinforcement? See, we're taking a little nap out of it. We're taking a little escape. It's bringing reinforcement. It's going, oh, you're not going to listen to me? Oh, you don't hear me? I'm going to come harder. I'm going to keep coming harder. And if I keep not getting your attention, I'm going to bring another circumstance into your life that's going to wake you up. So we have a choice every day. Do we wake up? Do we stand square in front of that thing and say, okay, I surrender? What is it? Because we got to learn that we do have more power than we give ourselves credit for. Because what we feel like is we feel like we come from that place where our disease or our drug of choice had control over us. And in a certain way, we admit we were powerless over that addiction. And yet, at a certain moment, you've got to become powerful over that addiction. See, I mess with myself all the time. There are things in this life because I know me. Because if you don't study anybody else in your life, you better study you. Because you are the only one you're building strategies for. You, in all honesty, are the only person and soul on this earth that you're truly responsible for getting all your lessons. Now, in the 3D, yes, you're responsible for your kids, you're responsible. Now, but in the real, on the soul level, you're responsible for you and alchemizing your soul, taking your soul to the next level. And so we have to understand that while we're studying the greats outside of us, and that's really cool, I advocate that. You better have some virtual mentors. You better have some real life 3D mentors. You better have a support system around you. But at the same time, don't forget to study the most important person in the center of that circle, which is you. Because you can take all their advice. You can take my advice. You can take anybody's advice that you admire. But you still got to know you, to know where it's going to fit and how you got to tweak it a little bit to make it yours and to make it work in your life. Now, I didn't think that for a long time. I gave all the credit to everyone and everything outside of me. I kept not looking at myself as powerful. I kept not looking at myself as smart enough. I kept not looking at myself as good enough. I kept not looking at myself as that I had wisdom. And the whole time I was doing that, I was gathering a bunch of knowledge, but I wasn't bringing it really into my experience where it really hit home and I could make those powerful changes. I study every single day, but I still have to take the time to bring that stuff into my life and build strategies that work for me. That's why we have to understand that people don't recover the same way. I mean, even if you go to some of the step programs and some of the programs out there, if you went around the room and asked everybody to tell you their step 4 or their, certain steps, every one of them are going to be different because we are here. Like, it blows my mind how we still look at other human beings and we judge them on the color of their skin. We judge them on what makes them happy. We judge them on who they are individually. And yet they're all here. Not created in UFOs and dropped down here. All created by the same creator. And yet we walk around throwing our stuff off on everybody else and think that everything and everyone else around us has to change. We are not acknowledging that every bit of this is for our full experience. So we will segregate ourselves from this group and we will segregate ourselves from that group and we will, not acknowledge this group of recovery and we will not acknowledge these people in recovery. And yet we've been thrown right dab in the middle of all of this and all of this as an experience. Right? And this is why I really, really, really know and believe in my heart that the recovery community, when we bond and bind together as we are fighting a common theme in our lives, because we're all in the process of awakening to our full potential. That's why on my YouTube banner, you see that sometimes rock bottom is the greatest place in the world to be. Because at that moment, you're so broken open and you're just like, feed me, feed my soul. Because at this point, I'm down to nothing and I'm all in. And we do. You're right, Alicia. We are the change. We gotta be, and we gotta work it out in-house so we can take it out to the world. And so, we gotta make sure that when we're walking around in the world and something offends us, that we don't automatically project out on what has offended. And we immediately go within and say, that's kind of interesting because this is bothering me right now and I don't even understand why. Let me take a moment and talk to my soul. Let me take a moment and talk to me and find out what it is. We're met with these challenges on a daily basis, and yet we do the opposite of what we're being called to do. We do the opposite. We push that thing or that person or that whatever away from us. We give it a reason in our head, and yet that same thing keeps showing back up in our lives, maybe in different faces, maybe in different phases, maybe at different times. And if we keep pushing it away, it keeps coming back because there's something there. So what I want you to see and understand on this Winning Wednesday is I want you to examine what thoughts and what areas of pain in your life keep circling back around. And what can you take apart or take from these things that are coming up? If it's the same type of person you keep attracting, the question is not to them. The question is within you of why. What in that person makes me believe, or what in me believes that I don't deserve better than this, or that I'm comfortable here? Because again, remember what we said in the beginning, we don't attract what it is we want, we attract what it is we believe. We attract what it is we believe about us. You can want $1 million. Let's just use money because everybody has a thought about money. Let's just use money for right now because it's easy and applies to everybody. Congratulations, Stephanie Wagner, to 95 days. Woo-hoo. Let's use money. You can want $1 million. But if every single day you feel afraid every time you spend money, if every single day, what's up, JD, 18 months, woo! Y'all are powerful, man. I love y'all. I love y'all, man. I really do. It makes me so happy. Y'all don't know. So we're talking about money. So, okay, you want to be a millionaire. You do the affirmations. I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. But every single day you check your bank balance and you feel that thing of fear, that fear that comes up in you going, oh, I thought I had more. Oh, I'm not a millionaire. Oh no, I've got to pay this bill and this bill and this bill, and it's not going to leave me with anything. Oh, and we're feeling in that fear. We cannot, in any way, shape, or form, ever attract $1 million. We can't do that because we're not connected with the million. We're connected with the loss or the lack of what we have. And see, once we turn that around and become really, really grateful for what we have and bless every dollar that goes out as your gift to the world, because every dollar you spend is feeding a child in somebody's household, is feeding, their lifestyle, their recovery life. It's paying bills. It's putting electricity into the world. I mean, we've got to learn how to reframe and really come to believe something different. And no, I love that Noah and JD have so much positivity within them, because that too is such a belief system. And when we believe that we get up every day, and though we know that our life is not going to be the easiest thing to get through, that we believe that there's a positive purpose for everything we do. Because again, let's go back to the beginning when we say we were just suffering to be suffering. And that's where we get hopeless. That's where we get hopeless. And when we get hopeless, we're in a dangerous place, y'all. We can afford to get to the place where we feel hopeless. We cannot. That's where relapse lives. That's where overdose lives. It lives in that gap of hopelessness. I will continue to show up here and give you the same information that saves my life on a daily basis, because I don't even call my recovery, it's my life, because it's recovery or death for me, one of the two. And I've done so much work to heal this stuff within, to really embody and embrace all of this that's within me. No longer asking that question, that disempowering question of why me, and saying, thank you. I get it. I get it. It's who I am. It's why I can walk through anything. Anything. Because I have. Because we have. Don't ever forget. Stop on your journey and turn around and look at how far you've come and what you've come through. Because if you don't do that sometimes, the future just keeps, that end goal just keeps getting farther and farther and farther away from you. Sometimes you've got to stop and turn around and remember how far you've come. I don't care if you're in day one. If you're in day one or hour two, turn around and look at that first hour. Success leaves clues. And we're not talking, we say success and people think money, stars, blah, 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 blah. No, you have had success. You have had success if you've changed one thought process, if you've changed one belief about yourself. If you have done it for 5 minutes, you got success, and success leaves clues. How'd you do it for that 5 minutes? Do it again for this 5 minutes, and again, and again, and again. Stop letting yourself believe that you don't have what it is that you need to study from. Because the greatest book, person, mentor you can ever study is yourself. My gosh, look at your inner child in you. That guy, a girl, or human being is a rock star because that little kid brought you through all of that abuse. That little kid stood firm in all of that. That little kid is the reason you are here today. Don't ever, forget about that little LC inside. See, kids don't necessarily, we're born instinctual. We're not necessarily born with that give up. We get it from outside, and then we embody it. We embody the give up. And today in recovery, because we've been to rock bottom and beyond, we embody the get up. And that's what you're doing. You're getting up from the give up and you're moving forward. And you're not going to have an all-powerful, amazing day every day. Some days it's going to feel like you barely got through. So remember, the point is to get through. It's not to do it with bells on or, do it dragging yourself and your life through. You got through. Reframe what you decide success is in your own life. And remember, whatever's showing up today, whatever is showing up in your life continuously, I ask you to pay attention to the thought processes that got you there, and then pay attention to what all of that is trying to tell you about places that need to heal. Oh man, Livy, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for that. I really do. I pray for y'all and I meditate for y'all before I come out here, and I only pray because I don't necessarily prepare. I always snatch from a playbook of my own life of what I come out here and talk to y'all about. And I never want you to think that I come and I talk to you about things that I've already gotten. I'm talking to you about things that I'm working on with you, and we're working through this together. I can't show up here with stuff that's not true. I can't say that, 100%, I have absolutely perfected the art of forgiveness, or I have not perfected the art of never falling prey to a negative thought. But see, when we know what to do and we've made the conscious decision that I ain't going back to using no matter what, and we certainly realize that nobody's showing up to do this work for us, that the work has got to be done by us, and that we are our hero. And no matter whether you feel like a hero or not, I'm telling you, you're a hero. You're still here. And you've been through hell. And you're continuing to move through no matter what. You know what? Even if you did slip back into that old coping skill, don't stay there. Get back up and study what led there. Because it's not a 0 to 100 action. There are thoughts and processes that lead you there. So we talk about this is an awakened podcast. This is an awareness-based podcast because until I became aware of all that was going on in me, and I changed my mind of what it meant for my creator to speak to me, and understood that the things that are coming up in me is my creator's way of speaking to me and bringing out the best part of my soul that's emerging from me. See, so many of you, and this will be the last thing I say, I'm going to close with this. So many of us are highly intuitive people. We're even empathic, where we've always felt other people's pain, and we didn't really know what was happening. It's what makes us such good counselors. What makes us such, good speakers. It's what makes us so inspiring, is because we know how to feel other people. And so much of that we didn't really understand and couldn't navigate in those younger places. So a lot of times we used to keep that emotion down because it was so overwhelming. We were going through our own stuff, and yet at the same time, we were picking up and feeling for all around us. And we don't understand that. And a lot of times we use. And now here we are emerging. And we're emerging into counselors and peer support and sponsors, and we're emerging into speakers, and we're emerging into our talent, and we're embracing our authenticity because we've come to understand that it's not running with the herd and judging ourselves against what success looks like here or what recovery looks like here, but it's really coming to say, man, I'm special enough to be exactly who I am, who I was made to be. Ooh, when we do that, there's a power that emerges within us that is unstoppable. And when we come to understand that every human being, just as they are, that comes into our lives and into our existence, when we come to believe and understand that they are created by a creator too, and it is not for us to try to change them, but it is for us to take in what is bothering us about others and try to alchemize it and transcend it and heal it within us. Man, you talk about the action of love and the embodiment of love that you become. That's who you are. That's who you are. So don't forget today to turn around and look at how far you've come. Realize that you are absolutely an amazing human being with limitless potential, and that you're here for this time right now. For a time such as this, you are emerging into all you were created to be. And yes, you're going to have hard days. And yes, there are going to be times that you are going to feel like giving up will be the easiest thing. But remember, ain't none of us in this recovery community that give up when it's easy. Just because it's easy. Every day we went out there, we didn't say, nah, I don't feel like going out there and hustling today. Nah, I don't feel like it. I'm just going to skip using today. No, you went out. You made it through. You did what you needed. Now come to believe that you are not that addict, that you are not all your pain, that you are called for a purpose right now. I love y'all. And I got some great news for y'all. So this Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got my great friend Robert Rigsby and Tiffany Werner of Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. They're going to be coming on the Recovery Soul Food podcast this Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then next weekend, May the 8th, we've got the legendary Dr. Rob Kelly, the infamous Dr. Rob Kelly, right here on the Recovery Soul Food podcast. A dream come true, y'all. I've been dreaming about that since the day that I started this podcast because I love Dr. Rob's approach to healing the disease of addiction and how he feels about this recovery process. And so I cannot wait to bring his style right here to all of you. Y'all will be experiencing and watching me experience one of my dream come trues. And I couldn't do it without y'all. I really could not do this without y'all. And I love you guys, and I love you guys, and I love you guys so much. I love you guys for being so involved with one another. Do you know that makes me feel the most happiness and gratitude is to watch you all really encourage one another, to sit and watch that you all just really embrace one another in these comment sections. And I don't care if there's 8 of you here, 80, 800, or 800,000. That is what's special to me. That's what community is. This ain't just about me on a platform. This is about bringing people, all walks of life, with a common love together in one spot. So I love y'all. Y'all get out of here. Have the most amazing winning Wednesday of your entire life. Why? Because you choose to, and yes, you are that powerful. Oh, and before I go, remember, Breakthrough Hypnotherapy is giving away a free full session, okay, for the Recovery Soul Food listeners. So head over to hypnobreakthrough.com, get with Pamela Topjian. Breakthrough Hypnotherapy is right here on Facebook. Y'all can reach out to her. I know some of you already have, and I'm really grateful because I use Pamela's hypnotherapy, and it is amazing. I do it now once a week. My wife's getting ready to go to twice a week. It's really healing to get past that old chatterbox conscious mind and get down to that deep subconscious and start to teach it new belief systems and who you really are. So y'all head over to Breakthrough Hypnotherapy and take Pamela up on that offer. All right? Take action. You deserve it. I'll see y'all Saturday night. Be good. Bye.